Everyone, hope everything's going well. So the LA Times did an article about 10 days ago, and I did see this posted on the Spiegel Brothers Instagram handle. I didn't look at the article, now I have, and let's just take a look at it. Why did the King of Collectibles cast out on their $1 million LeBron James card? Very interesting that this has reached the mainstream media. And it's not going away, the story. And I find this case very fascinating. At first, I did say that, hey, look, this is probably a BS lawsuit. But the more that I looked into it, and then more information came out regarding Cardporn, who is involved in this case, who convinced Ken Goldin to remove the card when he photoshopped the Michael Jordan pictures of Michael Jordan's jersey, which Darren Ravel covered, and it's discussed in this article. Guess what? Then I became a lot more convinced about Cardporn doing hanky panky in regards to this item. This is a very fascinating case. I ask you that, hey, take a look at this article because it's very interesting. And for those that don't know what's going on, I think a lot of my viewers do know what's going on, but if you don't, anyways, the Spiegel Brothers, they bought this one card. The brothers bought it in 2014. They bought it for $35,000. And they were convinced, or Steven Spiegel was convinced, it's $1 million card, as mentioned. Only 99 had been released, and it boasted James' autograph along with a piece of the jersey he'd worn. Now, let me add to this. There are a lot of these cards numbered out of 99 that are trimmed. There's accusations out there on blowout forum that, hey, these cards are no good. And it's quite interesting. All this information is coming out, but the prices are going down. And the story goes, the brothers consigned to Golden Auctions, a New Jersey-based powerhouse in the world of sports memorabilia. Its founder, Ken Goldin, who I've talked to a few times, once on the phone and via contacted via email a few times, transformed himself into a celebrity during the pandemic, posting videos on IG in which he opened expensive boxes with rapper Drake and actress Lala Anthony. And then it talked about him debuting a show called King of Collectibles, The Golden Touch. And once he started to sell their card in June of 2021, the card was listed number 44 out of 99, which was listed on June 10th. Bidding went on for a few months. The early auction, or what the bid had gotten to, was 690,000. And then Golden told Steven or the Spiegels that he's going to withdraw the card from the auction. And then this was one of the most bizarre things out there. And the Spiegels were like, hey, was this legit or was this not? And the Spiegel sued him and goes on. And then it just talks about Spiegel's, childhood down the road. Down over here, you could take a look. And then it goes back to the card. Just going back to it, the number 44 was graded a 9 by BGS, and its jersey featured multiple vibrant colors. The Spiegels brought it once again for $35,000, the most they spent on a card. And They tried posting this card. This is an important detail. I didn't know this. On eBay in the fall of 2019 for about $370,000. And then he got a message saying that, hey, look, it's patch swapped. But the weird thing about this was this ended up going to Upper Deck. This is a really interesting part of the story. And at the time, Chris Carlin worked at Upper Deck, who's now at Collectors Holding. The company senior manager of customer experience who told him via telephone that the card was 100% good. Carlin gave Steven a statement confirming the card's authenticity, explained that the card's original owner had contacted Upper Deck regarding concerns about factory damage to it. The company replaced the card with the one that Spiegel's later acquired, Carlin wrote. He said the original card was destroyed. Okay. Spiegel, greatly relieved, had the card put into a new holder by BGS, which updated its cases. Beckett Media, parent of BGS, declined to comment. All right. And then Spiegel's consigned the 44 to Goldin. And the card was supposed to sell for $1.8 million. Now that amount has decreased because of higher interest rates and the post-COVID situation going on, where things are somewhat back to normal, but things will start to get crazier, in my opinion, in the next 5, 6 months. Just watch. All right. So, and this is where the hanky panky went on. The Spiegel's card was widely publicized by Golden Auctions. Then an anonymous Instagram account with tens of thousands of followers took aim. It was the self-described industry watchdog that went by the name of Cardporn, which I've done about 20 videos on, just approximately. Someone could actually count it, but I did not like that guy. I figured out, via my spidey senses, something was up with that guy, even though people had more issues with me rather than card porn. And I just find that very, very, very interesting. They didn't have the same motivation going after card porn to the extent that they went after me. But let's look at this. The account published an Instagram story which asked more information about number 44 and purported versions of it. And they're the same images he'd received from the mysterious Instagram user in 2019. Was that Juan Garcia? Question, question, question. Then the day before the auction was to begin, the lawsuit alleged Goldin sent them a text message that including the two images of the card that had been circulating online. The Spiegel sent the Upper Deck letter to Goldin, who verified its contact with the trading company the lawsuit alleged, and told the brothers, "You will never have someone as strong-handed who fights for you like I do." And then the auction began and bidding was brisk. The card seemed headed towards a $1 million mark. Then Goldin's call, according to the lawsuit, told the Spiegels he was yanking the card because he's facing too much pressure from Cardporn and its followers, that the Instagrammer had persuaded Upper Deck to retract the letter. You know, in this case, how, why did a lot of people, or why were a lot of people scared of card porn? Okay. What was it with this guy, Juan Garcia, an anonymous account? What what freaked them out about it? When I was talking to Ken Goldin, he couldn't talk about this case. This is something that I would have wanted to ask him during that time is why were you scared of card porn regards to this? Maybe after this whole thing gets settled, and if he could talk about it, that's something I would definitely ask him. And why did Cardporn, how was Cardporn able to persuade Upper Deck to retract the letter? Like, what was up with this guy? And the weird thing about Cardporn was like I was doing post after post, and he didn't mention me by name, but he did do two stories regarding what I was doing, the pushback. That was weird because he had what, 80,000 followers and I was what, 1,000 followers maybe at the time. What was it that not freaked, that bothered Cardporn about me? I talk about a lot of hanky panky and all that stuff, and a lot of people ignore it. I'm invisible, but Cardporn did not look at it that way. And he was convincing people not to associate with me. There's a lot of people out there in this hobby that are telling others, don't have this guy on, don't associate with him, don't post his stories on IG. And, information has come back to me regarding this. I'm not going to mention who has told me this, but it's in multiple situations or multiple times people have told me, don't associate with me. I know who these people are that are doing it, but it's just wild. How do you go? How do you go with some Instagram named Cardporn and say this is going to override a letter from the manufacturer? And Alan said, yeah, I totally agree. How? Like this guy was a BS artist. And I'm shocked that a lot of people couldn't see through his BS or were scared of him. I wasn't scared. Their confusion only grew when Goldin emailed Stephen a few days later with the proposition. In the message, a copy of which was included with the brothers' complaint. Goldin said he had a potential offer from a third party to buy the card for 1 million. The brothers were suspicious. He's trying to take advantage because if the card's not good, why is there an offer? Alan said it felt very off. Yeah. Who was that offer? This is another question I want to ask Goldin. Who was that offer from that third party to buy the card for 1 million? The brother was suspicious, and I would be suspicious as well. Was it Cardporn? Was it Shine? Like who? And then by then, Golden posted an image of the Instagram with withdrawn across in it red type. Golden explained that he'd spoken with Upper Deck, which did not express the same level of confidence in the card that it had before. According to the Spiegel lawsuit, Golden ended his Instagram post by thanking Cardporn for its behind the scene work. Later, however, any mention of Cardporn was removed from the post. The brothers' lawsuit draws attention to the relationship between Golden and the operator of Cardporn, noting that the executive and Instagrammer had interacted jovially on social media. A report by journalist Darren Ravel, who I've spoke to a few times, that was published via the Action Network in September, asserted that Cardporn was run by a collector named Juan Garcia, who had allegedly tried to fake the provenance of a jersey worn by Michael Jordan. Action Network, a sports media company, also reported that Garcia had flown with Golden on a private jet to facilitate Drake opening a rare box of cards on an online broadcast. After details of the jersey controversy surfaced, the Cardporn Instagram account was deleted. Garcia could not be reached for contact. Action Network also pointed out a link between Garcia and Golden Auctions, noting that it had sold about $138,000 worth of memorabilia consigned by him. Now, I want to add, when I talked to Ken Goldin on the phone, what he was saying is that they have a lot more sales, obviously, than $138 million. I mean, $138,000. I don't remember the amount in millions, but I think in 2022, if I remember correctly, the amount of sales I believe he said was 359 gross, 350 million gross. But I have to double check those numbers. But what he was saying is that $138,000 is immaterial when it comes to the hundreds of millions of dollars that he sold from a couple of years back. So then, all right, just talks about his son, who actually what played, and they also played James' son Bronny. That's very interesting. That's really interesting. That's cool. I didn't know that part. And this was also very interesting where this there was an individual out there, Josh, a software engineer, proposed examining both cards under 200x magnification to see if the threads in the swatches matched. The weave of the jerseys look exactly the same. The gold glitter is exactly the same. The brothers felt vindicated. Soon, a surprising figure proposed an additional test. Bobby Middleton had watched the news of the 44 auction withdrawal hit Instagram. The Kansas card collector was disheartened because he said he knew the card was legitimate. Middleton chimed in on the Golden Post about the situation, saying he had the photo of the card from 2008 that showed it with multicolored jersey swatch. I felt like somebody was getting screwed, Middleton said, and it wasn't fair. In December, after pulling the card, Stephen reached out to him for more information. And he just talked about he's a Iraq War veteran, and he just put together this really interesting pictures of all the other special James Exquisites, and he wanted to help the Spiegels. And he, in my opinion, Middleton's research is correct. I do believe the card's legitimate. And I do think that Cardporn did hanky panky, was able to convince Ken Goldin, was able to convince Upper Deck that it wasn't, and Cardporn used some Photoshop out there, and he maybe tried to legitimize himself as a point of authority in the hobby. So then he could take advantage of others down the road. So, anyways, going back to this, there's a lawsuit going on, and it says Golden exercised its contract right to withdraw this Lebron RPA from auction in its discretion based on the information available and because there were concerns about the card's authenticity. Golden looks to presenting a complete picture of evidence and defending its position in court. Central to the dispute is the photograph that purports to show that the card with a white jersey patch. The lawsuit alleges that the image, which Cardporn passed off as definitive proof of the card's authenticity, was doctored with Adobe Photoshop. We've seen that before where Cardporn photoshopped last year regarding that Jordan jersey. All right, and then just talked about Upper Deck. Now, Upper Deck stands by and supports the October 16, 2019 letter from Chris Carlin and has never retracted its support for Mr. Carlin's letter, the message said. That's what the Spiegel is saying. All right. Lawsuit shines a spotlight on Carlin. This complaint alleges that he's the one who told the brothers that someone had a vendetta against him. After 24 years at Upper Deck, Carlin left in 2022 for a role at Collectors Holding, the parent of Golden Auctions at PSA. This is wild. This this is really a wild case. And yes, the auction or the value of the card has gone down. And it's all because, the Spiegel brothers could have made a ton of money on this, but Cardporn, for some reason, wanted to screw this up and most likely use Photoshopped. Most likely use Photoshop. So, wild case. I want to see what goes on. I know the Spiegel brothers in their lawsuit, they wanted more information, I think regarding Shine and, is he part of all of this? So, it's wild. Anyways, let me know what you think. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.